Hi. Let's see if we can get some people in the room. We tried to get out to people that missed out, so let's see. Hi. Let me know if you were in here before or if you're new. If this is your first live with me. If you have any questions about hair or makeup or anything, just let me know. Hello, Erica. Is that how you pronounce it? Hi. Okay. I just like to make sure. Do you work in the funeral home industry, or are you a cosmetologist, or what do you do? Are you just interested? Hi. Is that Taro and T? Hi. I'm just gonna wait for a few people to get in here, and I'll probably pick up from the last one or start from there. Like, you're very interested though, so that's good. What interests you about it? What are you wanting to learn? Are you more interested in the hair and the makeup, or is it just the whole mortuary science side? Hello. And I can start off with the last video that we talked about. We kind of went over a lot of random things that had to do with hair and makeup. And they're not random, but you know, there wasn't anything specified. But let's see, it caught my, oh. So I just popped up. Oh gosh. But yeah, it's interesting. So I cover more of the hair and makeup, and I've been doing it for 3 years, and I just started this channel to help people who are interested in it like you are. And I do, let's see. Tara and T, your funeral director for 6 years. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. So on this channel, Erica, I focus on the hair and the makeup, and then I do behind the scenes, you know, talk about certain things behind the scenes that you'll experience, you know, as a mortuary cosmetologist, because I can't necessarily speak for funeral directors, but we have people in the chat that, you know, I'm sure wouldn't mind helping us, you know, get some clarity on some things, or even share your advice. So Tara and T, if you have something that you want to share, if they have questions, hey, I might learn a thing or two also. Sorry, I keep looking down because I have a chat in front of me, so it's easier for me to look down. But I guess I would say that what really, I wasn't a makeup person, so I knew hair. I just had to alter certain things whenever I did hair, but it wasn't that difficult. But when it came to makeup, learning how to do the makeup, making sure that it matched, that it looked nice, that was probably the one thing I had to learn the most, you know, on. And then as far as people who needed more attention, that's where I learned a lot about it too, because that's really the basis of it. You know, you want them to be familiar, but you know, it's hard, you know, it's hard to go about that. I think the late night crew is popping as the evening crew. Hi. And we're just talking. I was talking about hair and makeup, mortuary hair and makeup. So if you have any questions that you want to ask, you just shoot me a chat and I can answer it the best that I can. And that's about it. Hi, Susan. Yeah, you've seen the interesting side of it too. So have you ever thought about, Susan, have you ever thought about going to mortuary science school or some type of part to become more involved in the funeral home industry part of it? Because I'm still debating whether or not, you know, if I want to go another route. I'm trying to think whatever I missed out on last time. I know how a lot of people asking me about getting dressed, dressing people. That's another thing I'm working on because it's different from what you would expect it to be. Yes, you don't necessarily have to be licensed, Erica, to do the makeup, but to do hair and makeup, depending on your state, then yes. You have to have some form of license to be able to perform the services on the descendants. Oh, you thought about it, Susan? Yeah. It's a big step. It's a big step to take, so. And depending on, so Erica, if you have cosmetology experience, then all you would have to do is, you know, just reach out or apply, because some places online they have to where they're actually starting to hire mortuary cosmetologists. So I think I want to say it's no, that's not PSI. I'll find it and then I'll put it in the chat at the top. But once you become a licensed cosmetologist, there are places now that actually hire stylists on versus you having to go out and contract. Now, for me, I don't know if that would necessarily work because, you know, it's a set schedule. With this is more of a range of time than go to work type of business. But if you work for a company like that, I think it's SCI. Yeah, it's SCI. They are a funeral home business, but that runs on a larger scale, and they have applications and stuff. Also, seen them on Indeed and things like that. So, let's see if we get some more hair people in here. It's funny, I got more people in here when I didn't set a reminder. I know people will start coming in because I don't want to just ramble. I want to ask questions because a lot of people email me or they DM me and they ask for questions. So, sorry, my hair's sticking to my lips. But they DM me a lot of questions. So, you know, I was like, let's take this opportunity to answer everybody's questions at once. So Tara on TV, are you still in here? If you are, I want to know what your experiences are like. And Erica, if you're still in here, have you ever, how far have you gotten into, trying to see about pursuing this new career? And I don't know if I'm ready to go to school. I'm still torn about it. I keep going back and forth, but I've been watching this young lady on TikTok, so she's got me interested in it again. Her name is Camille. I can't look because I'm recording on my phone, but I'm also on TikTok too. I'm still learning how to work that, but it's Miss Mortuary. I might stand here a couple more minutes, but if people don't start coming in, then I'm going to get off. I can go edit some videos so I can post them so y'all can see. I just wanted to give the late night people a chance because I didn't want them to feel like I didn't have time for them. And if you just entered the room, if you have any questions, enter the chat. Just leave a comment or a question in the chat box, and I'll do my best to answer it. This is like awkward. Do, 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 do. There's something, let's see, what can I talk about? Oh, natural hairstyling. That's a good topic to talk about. So with all natural hair, if it's not trained, you have the possibility of it reverting. She said, I need to write it. Okay, Shauna, I'm working on that. I'm working on everything. What do you mean you've been flying by the seat of your pants for months now? Are you you're in the industry? And that's what I heard. If you are, I heard a lot of people they wing it. Like they have their training and their education from school, but once they get out on their own, it's kind of like, hey, we got to make this happen. But hey, I'm working on a little something. But about the natural hair, what I was saying is it has a possibility of reverting back. So if you have someone that's ethnic or African American, or anyone with a coarser curly hair that wants to style it, you have to use certain products to avoid it from reverting back. And what I mean reverting back is just it swells. So I use items that are like thermal protectants. Sometimes I'll use beeswax just to get that appearance of what I want. And in the first video, we had talked about Marcel's, and that's a good time to use Marcel's as well. Say yes, I'm in. So how is that going, Shauna? So have you ever did hair before, or are you a cosmetologist? Tell me how you feel. Because a lot of people go in, and a lot of the funeral directors that don't do hair, Hello, One Way Design. Hi. A lot of people that don't do hair, you know, they've had to learn how, you know, watching YouTube, trying to figure out hairstyles because, you know, I've heard that that's not really taught. Like, it's not one thing that they really focus on. So, and a lot of hairstylists are contracted out because of that reason. So it's easier for them to embalm and then prepare, dress, do all that, and then have someone else come in and do the hair, nails, and the makeup. Someone that specializes in things like that. That way they have that in covered. But there are some funeral directors that I know that they want to do the whole thing. They want to do the preparing, the embalming, the hair, the makeup, everything, which is understandable, you know, because that's their name. So, yay, good job. Congratulations, One Way. Awesome. Oh, I have to try that, Shauna, the bio-ionic. Yeah, your Cosmo. Good. Well, hopefully, you know, y'all continue to rock with me, and then y'all can share your experiences, because I want to know, you know, it's not too many of us out there, so, you know, I thought we should band together. Oh. He said the morticians have no clue. One Way. No, and see, I'm actually, and that's right, Shauna, it's not taught in cosmetology school, at least the ones that I went to. So I'm working on obtaining my instructor license, because I'm still and get in touch with schools to kind of, you know, make that a thing, or at least teach cosmetology students this way. Yeah. And that's why it's a, you know, that's why I feel like people aren't prepared the way that they could be, because a lot of us didn't know. Like when I was in beauty school, that was far from my mind. I wasn't going to ask about it. And if it wasn't shown to me, you know, I wasn't going to look for it. But once I found out that, you know, we could do things like this, then, you know, after I got over my little fear. But yeah, One Way, some morticians don't, yeah. And no, I'm not knocking anybody, but you know, it's true what she says. Like, that's why a deserologist or deserologist, however you pronounce it, that's what we're there for. One Way says, is there a lightener to help reduce the dirty look on the hair, or does it give it? I would actually, or does it give it? I would shampoo it One Way, if One Way Designs, if you, so if it's like build up a residue, so you know when someone gets their hair twisted or they have rubber bands, it has like that white residue from the product on there, I would shampoo the hair, especially if it's going to be styled a different way. And even if it's not, if you put more product on it, you might spread it throughout the hair. So anytime, I'll make sure their hair is shampooed and conditioned and detangled as well as you can get it. And they have hair cleaner. So I don't know, you know, if you're assisted by someone, but they actually have a chemical that's in a glass jar that's a hair cleaner, and you can use it. But it is a chemical, and it has a, am I still on here? Mm-hmm. Okay, sorry guys, somebody called me. Hold on, let me turn this off. Okay. But it's a hair cleaner. And then we were talking about head blocks and forms, and if you use the styrofoam forms underneath their hair and you say you pour the hair cleaner on there, it will eat up the foam, like disintegrate the foam. So if you're watching my video that I did about my first funeral home supply, how my mannequin head, it started, the styrofoam was disintegrating, that's what the hair cleaner will do. if it gets on there. So you have to, I hold a towel underneath where I need to put the hair cleaner, and then I apply it, and then I put another, like a towel or something, wipe it off, and then just comb it through. But before I style it with any heat, I make sure that it's thoroughly dry, because it has alcohol in it and other products that you don't want to possibly catch on fire. Yeah, no, Shauna, they are, but it depends on the hot type of hairstylist you are. So and it just depends, it just depends. But they're supposed to come clean from the hospital to, either the hospital or the embalmer will clean them up. But being me, because I just want to get everything out for a clean palette, that's why I go in and do it if it wasn't done correctly. But I don't have to do it all the time. I didn't know if it was permitted or not. Yeah, and that's why I just mean go back in and shampoo, since it had a grungy look to it, because it was probably product buildup, and then after you style it, then you can go back and put like a sheen or something on it. But yeah, you want to get it out, because if you apply more product on top of it, it's just going to create more buildup, and the hair is not going to have, a fresh, clean feel. I treat each service like if somebody were to come in and get their hair done, this is what they get. It may be a shorter time frame, and some of the services may be limited, but I still shampoo, if need be. And I've started making arrangements to where if I can go in and shampoo prior and then go back in and style. But that's all up to the funeral home that you work for or your schedule. But normally I prepare the person the same day unless they get shipped out. I'll have a specific day to prepare them. They will be shipped out to, their final resting place, which may be in another state or country or whatever the case may be. Yeah, and one way also, we don't know to ask, but now you know to ask. Yeah. And I encourage people, like, a closed mouth isn't going to get fed. So if you want to learn more about it, I just ask so much. I know people I work for, I drive them crazy. What is this? What is that? How is this? What is this? So why are you doing that? Because, I'm hungry for knowledge to know, how does this work? Because people think, hey, oh, well, they're here, just style their hair, put them in the casket. But it's still work behind that. Still a lot of work behind it. People get their hair trimmed. Sometimes I trim it just to give it a nice look, because if it hasn't been trimmed, then the curls may not look the way that they should. It may not be as nice. So, you have any more questions about hair? Oh, you can also use dry shampoos. It depends on how thick the buildup is, but you can use dry shampoos too if you can't shampoo. And they also have, it's not a waterless, but I guess you can say it's a waterless shampoo that you can just run through the hair and cleanse it. It doesn't necessarily have to be shampooed and conditioned. And I do, some people, you don't use conditioner, because if you style their hair, it might weigh it down, but a majority of the time the hair is dry, so you need some type of moisture to go back into the hair. Hello. And if you just joined, we're just talking about hair. If you have any questions, or if you've been interested, if you're a funeral director or a mortuary cosmetologist, you can let us know. I guess this is more of like get to know, share experiences versus, me explaining to you, because it's easier for me to explain when you ask versus me like rambling on, because we'll be here forever. No, we keep the combs. Yeah, the only thing with the combs is once you've used any product on a descendant, that's strictly for descendants. So, you still have a comb drawer, a brush drawer. Just make sure that you clean them. So no, you don't have to throw them away unless it's, you know, it's time to throw it away, then yeah, throw it away. Yeah, yeah, Shauna. Yeah. Yeah, because you don't want to. Even if it's, I even feel like if it's a curling iron, a comb, anything, that stays at the funeral home. Because you don't know what you would transfer from, your deceased clients to your living clients. So everything that you use is strictly for them. So and that's a good point to bring up too, because if you're getting into this industry, I would recommend, or you're thinking about it, or you're about to get out of school, start purchasing double. So if you find something on sale like Sally's will have a buy one get one. You can get tools. So buy one tool for mortuary work, buy one for your salon with your living clients. And that'll be a good way to, so you won't go broke trying to go into business. So I have separate blow dryer combs, curling irons, clippers. I use a lot of razors, the eyebrow archers. Those are really helpful. So if you haven't tried those, like to get rid of any hair, because I don't, people ask, do they wax them? For one, that's a lot of work. That's too much going on. Plus, you don't want to put the warm wax on their face. I don't know what would happen, but we're not gonna do that. So just use the eyebrow archer. And so like people have facial hair, they want to arch their eyebrows, chin hair, lips. The eyebrow archer really helps, and the newer they are, the better. But just make sure that you use some type of soapy water or shaving cream, because if you don't, it can chafe their skin. And it won't bleed because, all the blood is removed, but it will chafe their skin. And I have a lot of families that'll come in and they'll bring the makeup, and we have to let them know, if we use this on on your family member, then we can't return this back to you. Shawnee carriers. Mm-hmm. Yep, that's good, Shauna. Yeah, I need to get a rolling cart. Have you seen the one on Amazon with the table? That rolling cart, I was like, ooh, because sometimes when you go to work at a funeral home too, they may not have a designated place for you to do the makeup. So I was looking into a rolling cart, but it folds out with the table on it. So you have all your products, all your implements, your tools, all that. And then you have a table so you can set your belongings on, because they may not allow you access directly into the prep room to do the hair and makeup. They may have you in a chapel or another designated area for you to do the hair and makeup. So I thought that would be really interesting to buy. And I'm going to start doing to where the items that I use, I'm going to post them in comments and things like that. So, if you ever wonder what to buy, where to purchase it, things that are, within budget that will help you build your kits and things like that, then I'm going to do that. One way I like to use, I'm a big Sebastian fan. I love Sebastian because it works well on all hair types, and it's anti-humidity. I also use things like Cure Care, the anti-humidity oil sheen. What else is there? I really don't use a lot, but you know, like Marcel wax, I'll use for natural hair gels, Eco Styler, mousses, things like that. But Tresemme is really good for beginners. Tresemme, you know, I know they have they're not a professional line, but if you don't want to use a professional line, then Tresemme is a good line to start because they have everything. Yeah, professional products are, you can use those, but it's just for people who are trying to maintain, you know, get their stuff together. But professional products, of course, are better. You know the contents in them. You know where they're made. You know that they're consistent. So that's a good reason to have professional products. Yeah, Shauna, the Shaper Plus. I like both of them. Oh, well, I can't wait to hear when you do makeup. And you know, you just, if you need help or, you know, tips or anything, just let me know. Yeah, the funeral directors tend to, but hopefully they'll let you watch. That way you can learn just in case they need you. That would be nice. But if they've been doing it for a long time, you know, it's hard to have someone step away from what they've been doing so long, let somebody else do it. But hopefully they'll at least let you shadow and watch. Trying to think of some other products. And well, and where I'm at, I work with what they've already had there. So I don't bring in, I haven't brought in any products to use at work because they have a big cabinet full of everything. So I just kind of work with what I have. And most of the time, if you don't have your own supplies, that's typically what you're going to do when you go to a funeral home. You're going to work with what they have. And they should have, you know, a variety of things, but some of them don't. Or they may have someone come in and they'll have their own products and they'll bring them in. Well, hopefully you'll be guided to this step. Hopefully that's why you found me, so you can learn more. Oh, that's my main objective of why I created this, to avoid that. He said you tried to use even. Oh, yeah, so one way. I found out that edge control and the skin of the deceased do not tend well, you know, blend well. And I guess because it's a lack of body heat, like we know that we don't want edge control to get too hot because then it'll start getting greasy and it won't work as well. But the fact that they're so cold, I think that's why it doesn't work. And even it's really thick already, and depending on, you know, how long it's been used, it'll leave white buildup on it. But the fact that their scalp, or, you know, the edges or skin is cold, I don't think that it sits well with their skin. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because I've tried edge control, so I stopped using it. I had to stop using it. So with that, I use, there's a product, if you're familiar with Talia Wajid, and I'm trying to think of some other products that are good that'll lay it down without making it cakey. I rarely use powder. Shauna, I rarely use powder. Yeah, I use more like the foundations that I use in my videos, or the company Pierce that we purchased from, they have their own little kits, and I'll use that. Or I have this kit that it was a concealer kit from Mary Kay, which I found out got discontinued, and it broke my heart, but I use that. And only time I use powder is to dull down some of the shine, and it's more of the translucent finishing powder, because that powder can make it look dusty. Makes it look really dusty. I'm trying to think. Oh, back to the edge control. Those wigs all over the place. The Talia Wajid. I'm trying to remember the name of it. I think it's Smooth and Shine, and it's a kid's product, but you just put a little bit on there, and once it dries, you know, you can still use a head wrap. So, you know, like a wrap strip, if you can tie it underneath their neck, or if you're working with someone that can help you hold their hair up to tie it around their neck, you could still use that to lay their edges down. You switch to Tresemme holding spray for it, yeah. Especially if it's an anti-humidity or a good holding spray, just to get it to lay down, because the natural hair will revert. And a lot of people are natural now, but whenever I found that whenever it comes to their burial, they request for their hair to be straightened, or their family requests for their hair to be straightened. I rarely style natural hair unless it's a lock or some braids. I don't really do braids. But most of it's not naturally curly hair. They want their hair straightened. And that's why I think if you do have to straighten their hair, that's when it needs to be thoroughly cleansed, because it won't turn out right. I mean, I'm not saying it won't be good, but in my personal opinion, I would prefer to shampoo it first, just so, you know, you can get the best results. But yeah, yeah, the wigs work. The wigs work. If you can get the wigs on and get them to stay, wigs can be a two-person job to have to put the wig on. It's easier to put it on when they're in the casket for me. But depending on how they're transported, so like we have a lift, so once we get them dressed and we move them into the casket, I wait until they're in the casket to put the wig on, because the wig will fall off unless it's sewn on or glued on. And that's another thing too. If you do have to apply a wig, you can adhere it, you know, you can do bobby pins or tighten the straps, but if it moves too much, you probably have to use some type of adhesive, or like Gots to Be hairspray or something like that, just to get it to stick into place. Because most of the time the wigs are too big for their heads, even if you do tighten it. But yeah, you use Gots to Be. It's easier. And you know, I hesitate when the families want the wig to glue it, because I don't know, just, I don't know, it feels weird. If they never glued it in life, I don't want to glue it, you know, when they're getting in their, you know, in their final resting place. Oh yeah, I like Kimra too. Yeah, and you get good results from it. Yeah. Have you, so Miss Monica or Shauna, have y'all had any experiences where you were stumped when it came to hairstyling? Or has it been, you know, it's a straight shot and easy breezy for you? I saw hot glue. I didn't even read the... Oh, well, when I saw hot glue, I didn't even read the whole thing. I'm like... You put it on? Oh, God. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, and you know, some people don't know. They do not know how to apply the wigs, especially with the lace. Like, leave the lace on, not lay it down properly. And, you know, I had some people that come in that want baby hairs, and I'm like, I could do the best that I can because their skin is so cold, like and you don't want to mess the makeup up either. So if you do the baby hair, I don't know, I don't do baby hair, so I don't do baby hair, so I don't know if you would do the makeup first or the baby hair, or the baby hair or the makeup. Because the makeup comes off. It's not like how we do the lace and do the makeup. Because if you touch it, it'll come off. But you want to make sure you get enough makeup underneath it. You said that's how you silk press the living? Yeah. Y'all about to make me go get some Bio-Ionic. I've never tried it. I heard of it. I use Kendra products, but I haven't used that one. Yeah, making them look, and there will be a few people in there that come in, and I tend to curl their hair. So if they don't have a lot of hair, you know, I tend to curl it in, and like you say, use the fibers, kind of fill it in. And it's hard to add additional hair pieces to their hair because you don't want to be able to see the weft. Or, you know, I haven't done tape-ins or anything like that. I've just glued tracks in. And sewn tracks in. Oh, it was curly, so she wore it natural. Yeah. And you know, that's another thing too with natural hair. The room is cold. So when you put the product on there, it may not dissolve into the hair properly. So you got to watch what products you use too. Is that Miss Monica? Oh, okay. So you did. It was on her skin. Yeah, so it probably turned like discolored where the marking was, where she got burnt. Oh, it made me go to the beauty supply. The professional beauty supply. So Miss Monica, when that happened, how did you feel? Did you panic? Or was it just one of those things like, okay, we have to fix this? Because I've had times where I've done things and I'm like, oh my God. Like, what? That's why I always start in the back just in case we have any, but you can't avoid certain things, I know, but. Oh, so you don't have to. Oh, shut up. Yeah, so you got to tease it up big. You probably do good in Texas. we like big hair down here. So have you reached out? Do any of you work for different places, or do you just go when your clients call? Have you reached out to other funeral homes? Yeah, and it's good to have good products on hand because that way you'll get better results. Yeah, but I was with Miss Monica on I promote professional products, but you know, sometimes we got to get in where we fit in. So, you know, if you have to go run and grab something, you know, just use your discernment on the products. But if you're a cosmetologist, you know, you should know a majority of what works and what doesn't work. Yeah, you're in Texas. What area? He said, no, you didn't pay up. Oh, I know, Miss Monica. And you know what's so crazy about me? My sensitive self, I still feel like oh, you burned me. So yeah, but yeah, thankfully she couldn't, because I know. I'm sure some of us have flashbacks of hot combs back in the day, so we know what it feels like. If you had an old school grandma or mama or Amy, get your hair pressed. And I've only had to press maybe about 3 or 4 clients because their hair was, and it wasn't even resistant. It was just the moisture in the room. Okay. So one way you're just getting your feet wet with the mortuary, just kind of getting a feel of it. I understand. And then Miss Monica, you go to funeral homes when requested. Yes, ma'am. That's the majority of what happens. Yeah, we gotta start making names for ourselves so we can, make a change. So that way we don't have to hear about families saying that their family members' makeup look bad or their hair look bad. You're in Wichita Falls. You're not that full. You're a little ways away from me, but I'm in Dallas Fort Worth. Hi, Nicole. How are you? We're just talking about mortuary hair and makeup. Miss Monica, you live, so do you still live here or are you somewhere else? I know you said lived. Hi, you're from Michigan? Hi, Nicole. Hi, Michigan. Are you in the industry, Nicole? You do hair, makeup, or are you in the funeral industry? Or are you a cosmetologist, a barber? Or are you just interested? Oh yeah, and I forgot to tell you, I started a chat or on my website. We have some members, but it's until we get a couple more people in there, then we'll it might be a little dry for a minute, but that way we'll all be able to connect with each other if we have advice. And guys, I'm all about support. Support. Okay, so if we're in the room, we're supporting each other, and constructive criticism is okay, but we're all going to be polite and we're going to be nice and we're going to share and push knowledge. It won't be one of those things to where no, I do this, you didn't. No, we're going to work together. So that's why I wanted to create this, so we could have a little community of people who are interested in this and that are in the industry. Put the website down there. You say you do your own hair, Nicole? Are you in the funeral industry though? Let me redo that. Oh, you relocated, Miss Monica? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Nicole. Sending my condolences to you. And I hope all is well with you, Nicole. Sorry, trying to type at the same time. One way. It happens. Sometimes they do because, you know, especially if they didn't wear makeup or, you know, didn't know how, whatever the case may be, when they're coming, you know, when they're prepared for their burial, it's like, you know, like they say, casket ready. So they get them all suited up, all dressed up, you know, their best. And I could see that happening, that people look better in death than they did in living, which is, it's sad to say, but, you know, it happens. And I really look back, like I've only had 2 bad makeup experiences that I wasn't really pleased with. But that was my grandmother's. Her makeup could have been better. She just looked one color. And they always go for, my grandmother was, she had a darker complexion. So whenever people service people of a darker complexion, they use like this muddy, like the green, the brown looks green. There's no red added to it. You know, there's no color combination. So that wasn't a good experience. And then I had another family member pass away and still had that same appearance to it. And it's like, you know, you have to use some type of red to balance the green out. And the color wheel, if you don't know the color wheel or you haven't paid attention to it, I would suggest that, because the color wheel, man, these flies, y'all, I'm in Texas and it's hot and these flies everywhere. And I have little babies, so they be opening the doors. But anyway, the color wheel is something good for you to have, because that way you can balance out the colors, because there are things that you'll have to correct. And you're like, why doesn't this look good? You know, why does it look green? So if you add a little red to it, it gives you more of a brown and it gets rid of that green tint to it. Yeah, color is a science. It is like baking. You add the wrong thing and the whole recipe is, it's a little off. And I had to learn that too. And I love using the little kits because you can mix and match the different colors. And you can blend it before you apply the makeup, so that way you won't do a full face of makeup and you're like, this does not match. And the families will tell you. So, hold on, guys. But I was going to say you have someone that has, you know, around my complexion and their skin darkens, and to go back and put the makeup, my color, it might be a little bit off. It might be a little off, so, you know, the makeup may look a little different, but the families will come in and they're like, no, she was lighter than this. Or no, you know, he was darker than this, or whatever the case may be. So they'll let you know. So I try to go off of the picture, even though, you know, you're looking at the picture and I'm like, their color is completely different. You have to make that base to try to and maintain that color or obtain that color. Sorry, I lost my chat. People keep calling my phone. I'm trying to think of anything else I didn't discuss. I always wait, things pop up, and I'll be like, oh, I should have said that. What about eyelashes? Do y'all have problems with putting on eyelashes? Tell me your experiences. You said that's why you leave the makeup. Before it's over with, one way, you gonna do some makeup. And then you're gonna tell me, gonna email me or DM me and be like, guess what? I did some makeup. I hope they start you off slow, but you're gonna do some makeup, man. I think you'll do fine. I think you'll do fine. Just practice and watch. Because you never know. You may be needed one day, and that could just change your whole You're like, no, wait, no way. I'm not doing okay. But if you ever do, humor me. I like a good laugh. I would be like, I told you so. Even though I ain't gonna say I told you so, but I'm be like, oh, you're a sir? I'm sorry, sir. All right, I can see why you don't want to do it. Not to say that men don't do it, but I apologize. Hi, Corey. I'm sorry. I hope I didn't offend you. I'm looking at a picture, but I can't really see it. Have I had to deal with restorative makeup after a person? I have, but it was more so like on their head, you know, around their temples or on their hands or their arms. But it wasn't a major case. Like, I haven't worked with anyone that's had a full rebuild or facial rebuild. And most of the time in that case, the embalmer I work with, he does it and I'll watch. You know, I'll add, you know, if there's eyelashes and things like that, I'll do that. But a majority of the time, he does that just so I don't mess up his work. Okay, Lil Wayne. Thank you. He's like, no, but I still want you to do makeup regardless. At least try it. At least one time. But Miss Monica, I'm really wanting to get into that. That's why I wanted to attend school to learn more about that and really just, I guess, to perfect my makeup skill is to go behind the scenes and learn from the basis of the mortuary science side. So that way I can use the education I got from there and combine it with my cosmetology experience. And then, you know, I'll be able to offer even more services to people. But I know it's going to be hard for me because I really was placed in this position. It's hard for people to get in. And once you get in there, stay if you enjoy it, because there are other people who are wanting to be in that position. And once the funeral homes find someone that they like, they stay with them. You just use mascara. Yeah, and you know what, Miss Monica, mascara, even a little bit makes such a big difference. Yeah. So try it. Try it. Like, if you have to go in or something, like, I'm working on trying to be available for people who, you know, want to learn things. But if you have questions, you can DM me or email me. Yeah, thank you. This is cool. Oh, gosh. Has the funeral home, one way that you work for, has it been open for a while? Are they seasoned? Mm. They may just be in their ways one way. I didn't think I would be on these lives this long. It's so cool though to hear everybody's experiences. Okay, good. Well, you might be the catalyst of change there. You never know. Get your mannequin head and practice. So, one way, are you what, do you have any licenses or credentials? Because you may be able to get you some items on the side so you could practice at home. Yeah, you either have to do that or go to cosmetology school. Cosmetology school is 9 to 15 months, so it's a little bit shorter. But if you go to mortuary science, oh, you're a licensed. Oh, okay. Well, email me so I can tell you where to get some stuff from. You get a mannequin. They have the little mannequin like the one I have, and it's not the best, but it gets the job done just so you can, get an idea, and that way you could practice. You too, Corey, you gonna try it? Oh yeah. Corey is a cosmetologist, a licensed cosmetologist too. Would you do this, Corey? Oh well, if what's you would? You're not scared? And one way, what state are you in? I can't remember if you told me before. Yeah, I understand being nervous. And there's nothing wrong with needing help. Okay, so you're in South Carolina. I would actually check TDLR, like look on their website to see if, since you're already licensed, that you could do the hair and the makeup. But I'm not for sure since I'm in Texas. I don't know what their regulations are. But here, if you're a cosmetologist, and you can do the hair, the makeup, and the nails. And here you don't have to be licensed to do makeup, but they would prefer you to be able to do everything. But yeah, I encourage you to try it. Cause it's so, and for me, it's rewarding, really. Cause I was burnt out on hair, like working in the salon and things like that. I was so burnt out. And it's just because, it can get a little demanding at times. If your schedule, it's hard to be consistent for you to be able to maintain your clientele. And once I got into this, it was a little bit more consistent. Now, it took me a while to build to be where I am today, but it was worth it. So, if you're looking for a career change and, you're able to withstand things like this, I would suggest it. It's been a lot easier. And I'm trying to like phase out completely and go all the way funeral home. Let's see. Well, guys, if you have any more questions, let me know because I'm getting sleepy. Yeah, I got burnt. I'm completely burnt out. And I love doing what I do, and I didn't want to just give up on it. And yeah, because it can get, it's strenuous on you. Working in this industry, you go in for an hour or two, and then you go home. You know, it's not waiting on clients to come in, late clients. It's hard. That's right, Miss Monica. Tell me, you only got to do the front part. Yay. Well, thank you for watching. Thank you for participating. Have a good night. We'll see you next time. Oh, yeah, everybody's drained because of the moon. It's tired. They're sleepy. All right, guys. Thank you for joining. We're going to try to make this more of a consistent thing. I pinned my information at the top if you want to contact me. If you have any questions. Yeah. Thanks for joining. And I'm going to, for people who weren't in here last time, I am working on videos as far as like hands, viewing hands, nails, dreadlocks, wigs, so we can have a variety of things to, you know, look out for. So I just wanted to let y'all know that. But thanks, everybody. Y'all have a good night. All right. Bye.